Hello, 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 welcome back. Now in part one of the video of the new moon in Sagittarius on around about the 6th to 7th of December, I talked about a collective level. So what is this energy all about? And now I'm gonna break it down for each sign, each of the 12 signs. Now the bottom line, or the most important thing, was that we have a bit of we have a lot of energy going on in the mutable signs. And mutable means that energy is very, very difficult to grasp. It's not really fixed energy. And so we need, it demands a bit of adjusting from our part. And so the moon and the sun and Jupiter will be in Sagittarius, and it will square Mars and Neptune basically. Now for Aries, what does it mean? Now for Aries is a fire sign, so Sagittarius is also a fire sign. So for Aries, it's a wonderful energy, especially because it is about new thoughts and it is about new visions. I talked about it already. There's a lot of that stuff going on for the Aries people. Aries people must be, so if you've got an Aries rising especially, but also to a lesser extent the sun or a moon in Aries, you must feel quite inspired. And that's what this energy is trying to do. It's trying to give you new inspiration for the future, because the ninth house is a future house and it's a house of your vision, and your vision gets broader now, so that you feel less stuck. It does square to Mars Neptune in your 12th house. So that means that you must take care, although you might come up during this time new ideas about publishing, new ideas about maybe starting YouTube channel. That's a bigger platform, is the ninth house. Maybe ideas about traveling, ideas about studying something new, maybe a language, or maybe, but something that is broader than just a language. It's like the whole culture that you're learning. All these things are favored here. Now the square that it's having from the 12th house means that you have to watch out that you don't undermine yourself. In other words, that you don't lose yourself in all of this. If you're doing that, in other words, that you keep your feet on the ground basically, and that you're not going to be there in la la land and all of that. If you're saying, well, no, I'm not someone like that, you don't need to worry at all, you Aries people. What this means is that something can be launched around that time that has to do maybe with a trip that you're going to make later on in the year, or with a study that you're going to make, and just the things that I just mentioned. So very expansive, very positive new moon for you, as long as you are not letting yourself guide by things that have no ground, basically. That's basically it. For Taurus, this is happening in your 8th house. It's and it squares up to your 11th house, the Mars and the Neptune. So what does this mean? This means that there is a whole new start on different levels. And I'm going to break this down, because the 8th house is a psychological level and it's a material level. Let's start with the basics. The material level. I mentioned it also a couple of times for the Taurus people, that there is an opportunity for you to invest. There's an opportunity to get resources together with someone else and have big ideas around that, and very expansive and meaningful ideas. There could be something happening around an inheritance. There could be something happening about money that you share with other people, or even with loans. So there's something really expansive, big happening there on a physical level. If you're saying none of that is happening to me, then it's more about the psychological side of the 8th house, which is about transformation, which is about new insights, psychological insights that you are getting, and that are very deep. Intimacy, you're longing for more intimacy with people, for more connection on a deeper level, and especially with one person. So whether you are single or not, there is this longing, there is this new seed that is planted there. that you want to share the good, the bad, and the ugly of yourself with another human being. And sharing that means vulnerability, and it means an opening up. And there's a huge opportunity to do so. Now, the squaring up between the Mars-Neptune means that you have to be a bit careful and very realistic when it comes to friends. So in this case, if you would want to start a business, for instance, with friends, I mean, putting money together with, I would be very, very cautious. I would actually not do that, because the Mars-Neptune in the 11th house, not that your friends are going to be bad or anything, but it's because the expectations of both sides might be not clear or not realistic. So, and if you really can't help it but doing it, do it after December. Do it next year then. Because this energy is a very important energy that also will come back, you know, this Jupiter square Neptune there next year. So you have to be very careful if you want to share resources with friends. Again, it's not about being bad or whatever. It's simply about being cautious and being very, very realistic. On another level, it could have to do with doing things in a group. If you want to do things in a group, then try to do it out not of selfishness, or try to do it together for a collective, doing something for the collective. For instance, you can put your forces together. Let's say that you are a nurse, and with other nurses you're gonna join together doing something, I don't know, somewhere in a country that really needs help, and you're joining the forces together. You're not you know, and just the doing of that gives you a lot. You don't expect that those people are going to thank you very much, and all of that kind of energy. So for Taurus people, it's a lot about values. It's a lot about your piece of cake, actually. Your cup of tea, I mean, your piece of cake. My English. So Gemini, you are one of the mutable signs. So for you, this is an extremely important new moon, because this is all about relationships for you. Again, it doesn't mean to say for the other signs that nothing is happening on a relationship level. This is just one thing that I pick out here in the transits. Of course, if you want to know the whole picture, you need to have a reading. But anyways, for Geminis, it's about relationships. So there's something that could be a new connection, a mentor that is appearing there around the 7th of December, or maybe already. There is someone in your midst that you're saying, this person. And it is true that this person is very valuable for you, can help you expand and broaden your perspective. Again, that could be a mentor, it could be a lover, it could be your partner, that it could be a business partner even, that is going to give you a lot of expansion, it could be even clients, that you have an enormous growth of clients with Jupiter there in your 7th house. And that it's like a new start and a new beginning. Maybe you have just started a company and now things are really, really speeding up. Now it squares up to Mars and Neptune in the 10th house, which is your work and your social status. So again, also for you, especially when it comes to the workforce, do it for the good cause, so to speak. Again, not by being a doormat, and not by just totally sacrificing yourself, but do it out of that, you know, that heart kind of feeling. And then you can be extremely successful, you Geminis out there. So there is a bit of a tension there between partners and between work, but it doesn't mean to say, if you use it right, like watch the first video, how to do these things in the best way, how to take the best attitude, you can really get the most out of this energy on a level of people that you are connecting with, and also on a level of your work, your career. Your career, the way to approach it now, the upcoming weeks, is a very selfish way, okay? Good. Cancer, what is this all about? Cancer, this is happening in your 6th house and it squares up to your 9th house. So for Cancerians, for a lot of Cancerians, this could have to do with work. So that there is like some new start, some new beginning, a new job or a new project that gives you more meaning, that you feel that, yeah, this gives me more meaning, this gives me more fulfillment, this is more adventurous, you know, it's the Sagittarian kind of energy. Or you're trying to do new things that has to do with your routine. It's like putting more adventure into your routines. There is a possibility now that this is that you're doing that. It does square up to your 9th house, so it might be that with Mars and Neptune there, that it demands study. The new thing that you want to do, that it demands a certain study, and that it is not easy for you to do. Maybe you are like, you're having a family and you're having 3 kids, and then you have to study and to work, you know, mixing all these things together. But again, watch the first video to know how to deal with that. You know, it's about, in this case, going a bit with the flow and not trying to force things too much, that you will get the best result. On another level, this could have to do with health. This could have to do with new beginnings that will give you more meaning in having a healthy life. You know, health is wealth, of course. And this could give you new insights and new experiences that do clash maybe with the way that you thought things would have been, or the way that you were thinking, or your belief system. There is a bit of a clash there. But again, I think for Cancerians, this new moon is quite an interesting one, and it's not going to change your whole life, but as long as you are not pinpointing your beliefs too much, then you cannot go wrong. So be a bit open for different perspectives, and then you will get the most out of it. And make your decisions at the end of the year if important decisions need to be taken. Leos, for Leos, this is great energy because Leo is a fire sign, and this trines the Sagittarius energy. So for Leos, it's really a very positive energy with all this energy in your 5th house, which is your house. So there is a new beginning, and there is a very meaningful and purposeful new beginning that has to do with maybe with children. Maybe you're deciding to have a child, or if it's not, like if you're saying, Veerle, I'm 83, maybe you're deciding even for a new hobby, or for a new way of expressing yourself, or a new way of enjoying yourself. So this is actually something that Leos really, really love to do, expressing themselves. That could be that you're more at the forefront, so to speak, that there is a possibility to show who you are and to show your unique self. That could be a starting of your own business, or if that is the case, the pitfall there is to watch out very carefully if you want to invest with other people, because you've got a bit what the Taurians had. You've got that square to the 8th house, which is the house of money with other people. So watch out there, because you've got Mars and Neptune in the 8th house. So again, be careful when you're investing with other people. And that Mars Neptune there in the 8th house, to put that in the most best way, is to be interested in your own psychological development, and to put a lot of effort in there to get more intimacy as well, to get more intimacy and with someone else, and again, that vulnerability as well, you know, having that vulnerability there, that might cause a little bit of problem every now and then, maybe some trust issues, but now there is more hope and more belief in oneself. So for Leos, basically, very good time for expressing yourself, as long as you know that not everyone is gonna, you know, is just gonna not do this and say you're fantastic, because the 8th house is the values of other people, and there's a bit of a clash there. So just do your thing, Leo. Just do your thing, and you'll be fine. For Virgos, you're not a mutable sign, so you're one of those signs, together with Geminis and Sagittarians and Pisces. This is a very important new moon. This is happening in your 4th house of your core, of your emotional well-being. So there is like a new start there. There is like a new feeling, a new start, a new feeling good about yourself. That is the 4th house. The 4th house is literally your house. So you could be, some of the Virgos could be moving to a bigger place. But and that could cause a little bit of tension with the partner there, because that's where the Mars and the Neptune is. So there could be tension between home and if you are not single, so home and your partner. So maybe your family or family life and partner life kind of clash, or you have different ideas. If you are single, this can mean that you're finding meaning in yourself more than ever, and having that confidence and feeling that you are at home with yourself. But that doesn't mean to say that all other people are that clear about themselves as you are, because Mars Neptune in the 7th house, it's not easy for the Virgos, because Virgo wants to understand and it wants to be clear, and the people now for the Virgos are not going to be clear in your life with Mars Neptune. So I strongly suggest you not trying to figure out other people and think for other people, because it's not going to work, and especially not now. So with the Mars Neptune, what is best is just to see that people are going to give you a different perspective on how to do things, and even when that is a totally different different position than your position, you can be open for it, but you don't have to go with them. So it could cause, be very aware of the fact that what other people are showing to you, it's not the whole picture. And that's fine. I mean, that doesn't have to. So especially when you are single, be careful about the new people that you're meeting. Don't put them on a pedestal. When you're not doing that, you can't go wrong, basically. So yes, but for Virgos, other people, you don't really know what they're all about at this moment. Sometimes they're saying I'm going to the left, and they're saying on the right. So be a bit flexible there, and you will be fine. But a very good time for you to feel very connected with the root of yourself. Librans, this is happening in the 3rd house. So for Librans, this energy is quite attractive when it comes to expanding your mind, when it comes to learning new skills, learning a new language, learning how to drive a car, learning new cooking lessons, whatever it is, that maybe cooking on a level that is totally different than your cooking. Like, let's say that you're Asian and you cook everyday Asian. Now you're going to a class where you can cook French, for instance, because it's Sagittarius, it's like taking it a bit broader. So for Librans, it's a very good new moon. It sextiles your energy. It's about opening up your mind. It could mean that there is a better connection with a sibling or with your environment, doing something with the environment, starting new social media stuff. It's a great time for it. It does square up to your 6th house. So make sure that all those new ideas and all those new things that you are learning, that it is in trying to balance this out with your work and with your health. So, because the 6th house, Mars Neptune is there, which means that routines, it's a bit difficult for you at the moment with Mars with Neptune there. And with difficult, I mean to have that discipline. So it might be a bit of a struggle there for the Librans to get out of bed at the best time and all of these kind of things. But again, nothing to worry about too badly. Enjoy this energy if you want to start something new, considering traveling, learning, all of that, because it's on. And it's going to serve you for many, many years, because Jupiter is there. Scorpio, your 2nd house. This is a bit like the Taurians. This is all about money and self-worth. So on a money level, there could be some new beginnings there. There could be expansion because you have another job, or maybe you have another plan of earning money. Maybe you have an apartment that you're now gonna rent, and all of that. So new possibilities of income. New possibilities, if you're saying this is not about income, it's about your self-worth and your talents. New possibilities and what you find meaningful and not. Like you could develop a very different kind of value system that you're saying, hey, I'm wearing clothes of of designers that you know, every month I have to wear something else because they're getting holes in it and all of that. And I'm worth for good clothing. I prefer to, you know, that kind of thing, and that you make that switch and it's on for a long time. So these are, of course, very practical things, but on another level, it has to do with your value. It has to do with I'm worth it and I'm feeling confident. So a confidence boost for Scorpios, for sure, for sure. It does square up to your 5th house, so make sure that not too much money is going out to a child, for instance, or there is a child that is not really knowing what it wants, and that costs a bit of money. That could be just a very practical thing. Or there is a hobby that you have to watch out that you don't spend too much on that hobby. So or there is a creative project that you're wanting to launch, and it all seems very big, and this opportunity and that opportunity, but you have to be careful about your finances, how you want to do it at the best time. So for Scorpios, it's a lot about money, and it's a lot about how to do it in a very down-to-earth way and in a cautious way as well, especially with the Mars Neptune there in the 5th house. But when you're doing something creative and you're doing it in a very rational way and you're doing it in an economical way, you can actually, and you're not doing to get the money actually, you can get a lot of money. It's weird, I know, but this is how the astrology is. Sagittarians, dear Sagittarians, this is your new moon. Haven't we, I say we, because I have a Sagittarian rising. Haven't we been waiting for this? You know, for this new beginning. And what a beautiful new beginning this is, because this is not only around about the 7th of December. This is with Jupiter there, with our ruler there. It means that there are new things coming. And especially around the midst of December, you're going to feel it more, and the end of December, because then Jupiter is a bit further away from the sun, and it becomes stronger, so to speak. More in its so you're going to see the result, maybe not directly on the 7th of December, but afterwards, that there is expansion going on with you. You are expanding. All those things that I said in the first video are applicable for you, extremely, extremely. And this is all about you, and this is all about putting emphasis on you, and you're gonna attract people towards you because of that. And it's the best thing to do, to think about you. And it's not always like that, but now for Sagittarians, it's the best thing to focus on you, to focus on what you are all about, and to set those to put those seeds into the ground, and to start up with something new. So a lot of you will be going to travel more. A lot of you will be learning new things. A lot of you will be teaching a lot more. But for sure, there is an upgrade in the level of growth there. And optimism, you know. I've said it earlier, for the Sagittarians, there has been so much Saturn that you had last years. Now it's the contrary. Now you feel more confident, not because of the situation has changed, just because you feel like that. But mind the Mars Neptune in your 4th house. So be sure that there is a balance between your home situation and your expanding. So it could mean that you're trying to do things that demands a lot of time, and that you have to balance the time share a little bit between your work, your home, your family, and all of that. So there could be some movement as well with the home, with Mars Neptune there. Again, when you have certain possibilities, wait it a little bit out. Don't decide too quickly, decide after December. But massive expansion for Sagittarians, and massive feeling at home, and feeling that you are supported, and feeling that you've got it all in there. And but again, instead of wasting the energy on all different sort of things, just wait out and see what your options are and implement them in the next year. Capricorns, this is happening in your 12th house, so there is a new beginning, and with Jupiter there as well, when it comes to relaxation, when it comes to you trying to reload your batteries. So that's the positivity of all that energy in that 12th house. There is assistance there, but it's not seen. So you could feel that you are assisted by your ancestors who passed away, or by God, or by the universe that got your back. And that's fine, although it's not tangible, which our Capricorns don't really, they want to see things and feel things, but this is not possible with this energy. But you're gonna feel very protected. That's a very good feeling, and there's possibilities for new starts of relaxation. So you might get interested and start, like maybe meditation, or maybe yoga, or maybe every night before you go to sleep you listen to some nice music, or you go for a walk at the seaside, or whatever. These kind of things that you do alone, but that relax you and that you gives more energy. It does clash with Mars Neptune in your 3rd house, so be aware of communication, that what you might say or what other people say. Try to be as clear as you can. And if people are promising you the world, doubt it a little bit there, because of or try to see it in its context and in a bit of a broader way. There are new ways of thinking, new ways of accepting information, with the Mars Neptune, that is. But don't let yourself get lost there in your thinking, because that's the combination of the 12th house and the 3rd house. You could get a little bit lost in your thinking. Just accept it, that you don't have all the answers yet. Again, that's not an easy one for a Capricorn, but I can only suggest it. Now, Aquarians, this is a good energy. This is a sextile energy. This is happening in your 11th house. New beginnings when it comes to friends. You could get some new Jupiterian, maybe from other countries, new connections there. And the only thing to watch out for is Mars Neptune in the 2nd house means that your self-worth, that you have to keep the feet on the ground there, and also finances. Maybe you want to do something with friends, very, very good, very expansive and very adventurous, or you want to make a trip or something with friends, which is fantastic, or with a group, because this is about groups activities. All good and well, as long as you can deal with it financially. Okay, so this is a very important one. So for anyone who wants to put money with friends to do certain activities, watch out there. If things are, if things are secure, let's put it that way. That's the only thing that I want to warn you for, because it's very good energy, basically, with Jupiter there. There could be a mentor for you appearing as well, or a friend that is a bit of a mentor there. As long as they don't ask your cash, then they're fine. But it is very expansive when your social life was a bit down. This could really turn around, and you could get really more social. Just again, as you make sure that it could also mean that the things that you eat, because that's the 2nd house, that you're just exploring a little bit there, that you have new objectives, and because you have a new way of eating, you need to change your objectives. How strange that might sound, but this is the energy. And the 2nd house is also giving things away. That's a good, of course, what you can miss. This would be tremendous good energy and good karma that you're creating, basically, and you're gonna get back because of that. How, I'm not quite sure, but you will, probably, in getting those good connections. And the 11th house is a fantastic house for getting gains and getting good connections and people who can be very important for your career as well. And then last but not least, Pisces, this is happening in your 10th house. So for those Pisceans who've been wanting to launch something new when it comes to work, it's really on. And see it big and see the different opportunities. But as long as you can deliver what people are demanding from you, because there is a bit of that is the warning there, because Mars and Neptune is with you. So be sure that you hold that integrity there, that you're doing the things, that you're not crossing your own boundary. Ask yourself that when you're really doubting. And because a lot of opportunities that you can take, but you have to be aware that you're doing the right thing for yourself, and that you're doing good for you and also for others. This is a really important one. And without, not being selfish, I mean, most Pisceans are not like that. Or if they would have strong Aries in them, or strong fire sign, that could be different. But if you're doing something for what you want, but that is aligned with a need of other people, then you could really, really gain a lot by the job that you are doing, or by something new that you are doing for the collective. It's really on, and finding more meaning in a job. So it's a good time for applying for new jobs, but again, be very honest, be as honest as you can. And even then, if people misunderstand you and you did your best, I mean, what can you do? But this is the energy. You are going to have certain possibilities for you to launch maybe a new project, or doing something new that has to do with your social status. But again, I would recommend to really implement it after this year. So starting off in next year in 2019. But really, really good for the Pisceans. Pisces is also a very mutable sign. You're very aware of this energy, and you are one of those people who can deal with its best. Although you can also fall into the pitfall of not doing anything and letting yourself guiding by other people's wills, but which is not going to happen this time, because Mars is in your sign. So try to be as clear as you can towards other people, because other people might say you're not clear at this time. And for you, it's very obvious, but just try to understand other people a little bit more on that level. And I think you will be well. It's certainly a good time for you to expand when it comes to your social status, and when it comes to the meaning of life, what you want to do in this life, what your purpose is, and what you want to deliver to society. Having said that, this was quite a long one. Thank you so much for watching, and see you soon. Bye-bye.